just gives me one-word answers. His buddy Kevin comes over to watch football on Saturday, and Dan's acting totally normal with him, laughing and everything. The second Kevin leaves, Dan goes back to ignoring me. Sunday morning, I'm making coffee, and he finally talks. He says I disrespected him and embarrassed him. I ask how I embarrassed him when nobody else was even there. He says I made him feel like less of a man. I tell him he did that to himself by being too scared to buy pads. He says his dad never bought that stuff for his mom. I tell him cool, we're not his parents. He says I don't understand guy code. I'm like, guy code doesn't apply to your girlfriend bleeding through her pants because you're too insecure to walk into a store. He tells me I need to apologize. I laugh and say absolutely not. He can apologize for leaving me stranded with no pads while I was bleeding. He says that's different. I ask how. He just walks away again. It's been a week now and he's still barely talking to me. His mom called me yesterday asking what happened because Dan told her we had a fight. I explained the whole thing. She got quiet for a second, then said Dan's always been sensitive about that stuff. I asked what stuff. She said anything that makes him look weak in front of other guys. She said when he was in high school, he wouldn't even carry her purse for 2 seconds in the mall. I told her that's insane. She agreed but said that's just how he is. She suggested I apologize to smooth things over. I said no thanks and hung up. Now Dan's sister is texting me saying I should just say sorry because he's clearly not gonna budge. She says he's stubborn like their dad. I told her I'm not apologizing for asking my boyfriend to do a basic thing that took 5 minutes. Last night Dan ordered pizza and only got enough for himself. Didn't ask if I wanted any. Just ate it in the living room while I was in the kitchen. This morning he used the last of the milk and didn't tell me, so I poured cereal for nothing. His best friend Troy came over last night and I heard them talking. Dan's telling him I called him names and tried to embarrass him. Troy's like, that's messed up, bro. I walked in and asked Dan if he mentioned the part where he refused to buy pads. Troy looked confused. Dan told me to stay out of it. Troy asked what's going on. I explained everything. Troy actually laughed and said, dude, that's weak. Dan told him to leave. Troy left, but he was still laughing. Dan punched the wall after Troy left. Didn't say anything to me, just went to bed. This morning there's a dent in the drywall.